tabi na dahil pinatay na nga po ang irrigation. And since I sat here as a representative of my district 2010, nagpa-plot po ako ng farm to market road sa aming distrito. Pero sasabihan po ako ng mga datihan ng mga kongresista na, Lani, hindi na pwedeng maglagay ng farm to market road dyan dahil papatayin na ang irigasyon. And that happened since then on when I was seated here. And that is the reality, Mr. Chair. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Representative Revilla. So yes, to the DA and to the NIA, if you will be able to submit to the committee the reports and allegations regarding yung turning off ng irrigation. Actually, we're done, but I think Congressman Viron wanted
to
say something.
our NIA administrator. Yes. Kanina, admin, may pinakita kayo doon, no, na app, no, monitoring the condition of solar-powered areas, no, solar-powered irrigation facilities. And nakita ko doon, the AI also includes program for spraying schedule, spraying instruction. Anong ibig sabihin doon? When you do spraying schedule, are you doing that by drone? By ano ba? Kasi, you know, if we adopt the technology provided by Israel, kompleto sila eh. So may drone monitoring sila, may satellite monitoring, and then drone din ang nag-spray, drone din ang nagmo-monitor when is the ideal harvest time, etc., etc. So far, ano ba ang technology that you had employed, and how much did it cost government?
Actually, Mr. Chair, yung system namin is na-develop po ng Israel, Israel technology po yun. Yun pong sinasabi ko kanina na masasabi naman kung kailan mag-spray kasi depende sa weather. Baka mahangin masyado or may ulan na darating para masabihan namin yung farmer kung kailan mag-spray. Yung pong paggamit ng drone doon, ito ginagamit ko sa akin. Kasi naka-GIS system po siya. Ang kagandahan ng system namin, hindi ibig sabihin na lahat ng area kailangan niya ng pag-spray. Nakikita namin kung saan lamang yung area. So pwede mo po yung i-program sa drone para pagbitaw mo ng drone, yun lamang ang kanyang isprayan. So malaking tipid din po ito. Dahil instead na mag-apply ka sa buong area ng pesticide, kung pesticide or fertilizer, pinpointed na po ito. Ang costing po ng 1 hectare dito is 1 million pesos per hectare.
When you say costing, anong facility piniprovide? 1 million, what covers the 1 million?
Ang minimum area po namin is 10 hectares. So minimum area po na malagyan namin is 10 hectares, 10 million per system. Ang coverage po is yung georesistivity kasi kailangan mo po na pong makita kung may tubig o wala doon sa area. Hindi yung drill ka lang ng drill. And then yung development po ng well, yung paglagay ng pipe, of course yung pump niya, yung solar panel, solar pump, yung perimeter fence, yung fertigation. May fertigation po ito eh. And drip irrigation.
Okay. So may drip irrigation kayo. So kasama na to 1 million per hectare?
Yes po.
Kasama yung the software, hardware,
yes,
and all the facilities.
Yes.
So for every area, 1 million each yon. So if you have X number of hectares spread over the Philippines, na you do this special irrigation, ganon ang cost na
yes,
sa gobyerno?
Ang sinundan naming costing kasi, meron memorandum circular ang DA na ginawa as to ang cost ng irrigation facility. And yung kanila po kasing ginawa is yung pump and the frame at saka pump na would cost around 700,000 pesos po yun eh, yung estimate nila. With us, hindi lang po yun. Meron kaming georesistivity, meron kaming again, yung AI technology, meron kaming fertigation, drip irrigation. Importante po kasi yung georesistivity. Kaya mas mahal yung sa amin. But if you compare that with the costing of DPWH, DP would be like around 1.2 million pesos. So yung NIA po, may AI na, may fertigation na, may drip irrigation pa. At saka yung yung limit po, yung strength ng amin ay kaya niya ng hanggang 280 kilometers per hour na bagyo. At may warranty po ang ating supplier doon sa system.
Kung may warranty siya, ay ilang taon ang warranty? And what is the life expectancy of that facility?
Yung ginawa nila rito, sir, hindi lang 15 years, mahigit 15 years na eh. And,
15 years.
At mas malayong, mas maganda yung
Sulit
technology.
naman kung 15 years, 1
Yes.
billion capital investment.
3 years, bawi mo, may
Yun nga.
naka-ROI ka na.
Oo. So the ROI is very fast.
Tsaka mabilis natin i-construct po ito.
Yeah. So, kasi last time, first hearing namin, tinanong ko si Yusek Asis, how much of DA's annual budget is spent for research and development to promote, improve the production, no, and other activities that employ science and technology to ensure that production is sustained. Sabi ni Yusek Asis sa akin, 1%. So I have yet to secure the data from you, Yusek, out of the 1%, no, which is I think 20 million, because less than 1%. So magkano yan in peso value, yung 1% ninyo? Okay lang, next time i-submit mo sa akin, sa committee. Ang tanong ko lang doon, what is the composition of that 1%? Kasi the point that I was driving at last time was Israel, has a very bad soil quality, and yet they are net exporters of agriculture, especially vegetable and fruits. Sa atin, napakagandang lupa dito, and yet we import rice. All right. So, yun ang malaking diferensya doon. So, I was sharing to admin, no, that NIA plays, I think, the most important role if you wish to ensure food security. Kasi nangyayari ganito, sabi ni Congresswoman Lani, because of migration and population explosion already in Cavite, that phenomenon is happening globally. So, darating yung panahon that Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, India will close its doors. They will not export rice anymore. Si India is the most populous country in the world, already overtaking China, because China declining ang population. India is now close to 1.5 billion people. So ngayon, net exporter pa sila. Pero darating yung panahon, no? While they control 28% of the rice supply in the world, darating yung panahon kasi mas maraming Indiano pinapanganak kaysa Pilipino. So, and because of competition in the global market, the North America and the European countries are willing to buy rice at a higher price. So, si Vietnam is also learning its lesson. Kung saan ang merkado na mas mahal ang bigas, whoever wants or is willing to pay a good price, doon nila ibebenta yon. Hindi nila ibebenta sa atin yon. Just like any other business. So, kung saan yung mas malaking kita nila, doon nila ibebenta yon. So, what will happen? Wala na tayong pwedeng bilhin sa Vietnam, Cambodia, India, because one day, they will close the door. So, ngayon ang pinag-uusapan natin is, address the rising prices of rice, and requires a surgical approach. Dapat, before Christmas, maramdaman na ng taong bayan na bumaba na talaga. And, Admin Larry, that is your role, to make Filipinos happy before Christmas. Pero in the medium term and in the long term, we're talking of 15, 20 years ahead. Wala na kami dito sa Kongreso. But we should initiate that program ngayon pa lang, with you guys in the DA. Kasi alam ko, one day, retireable na to si Yusek, Yusek Asis. Si Yusek Morales, siguro after a few years, magre-retire na rin ito. So, we don't have enough time. You know, and after the Marcos administration, hindi na natin alam kung anong programa ng bagong administrasyon. So while we still have time here in Congress, we still have 3 years, we should be very aggressive in our approach. No? Employ science and technology, invest in research and development because Israel spends 17% of its annual budget. Wala nga silang tubig eh. Admin, Ed, alam mo ba, nasa Israel, 99% of wastewater is recycled. Wala silang tubig. And yet, you know, they are sufficient. So, digital irrigation sila doon. And they survive, and they flourish, they thrive, and they prosper, and they became net exporter of agri-products. Sa atin, kamatis lang, ini-import pa natin eh. Di ba? Pepper, ini-import, onion, lahat ini-import eh. And we have all the abundant land in this country. So, ganun lang yung approach natin. I hope that DA, NIA, one day you should sit down, gentlemen, you know, with the President and employ science because I believe it's only science which will be our saving grace one day, no, to ensure food security. Yeah. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Comfort. Yes, I think we have to get back to that. We have one point because nag-revise
2
kayo ng
points,
inventory
Mr. Chair. 2
dun
points.
sa
So,
Kadiwa Farms, di ba?
yeah, so 2
Kadiwa
points.
Stores, sorry.
The first point is, ano ba yung totoong commitment ng NFA? And how much is the price? In terms of Kadiwa rice retailers in public markets. Quantity in kilos plus the price.
Mr. Chair, ang commitment po namin as prescribed by the NFA Council, ang presyo po ng aging rice ay 29. 29 po.
Okay, and then the quantity?
Immediately, nationwide po itong sinasabi kong stocks na ito, 106,824 bags.
In kilos, that's...
That's 5,341,200
Okay, for
kilograms.
December, it's 5.3 million kilos. January.
Nationwide po ito. Aging stocks.
January.
January by, ano na ba tayo? Late January or middle to late January, mga 308,539
In kilos para...
times 50.
So 5.3.
That's 15,426,950
Okay, February.
kilos. Ginigiling pa lang po ngayon.
Just give us the estimate for the 3 months. So 5.3 million kilos December, 15 million kilos January, February ano?
Assumption lang po, no? It's the same as
So it's 15 million kilos
15
again.
million kilos.
And you will have this sold through Kadiwa markets and Kadiwa rice retailers.
As P29 po, na 29 pesos po na nila kukuhanin sa amin.
Okay. My question earlier, based on the law, what's the point of reckoning? Date of milling or date of delivery of palay? Or is it silent?
We will check po kung ano talaga
We
yung
already
reckoning
checked eh. The law was there, kaya nga binasa. And I think it's not written there. It says aging rice can be sold into Kadiwa centers and other government outlets.
Wala po sa batas pero nandun po sa operating manual na.
Sorry, nasa?
Operating manual po
And the operating manual was crafted by
the NFA board po.
And the NFA board can actually convene and amend that. If
That's
we are
also-
talking about affecting the price of rice, market price of rice.
They have redefined it before. Dati po 6 months siya, ginawa po nilang 3 months. So I believe so, Madam Chair.
Hindi, kaya nga. Pero hindi naman kasi nakalagay doon kung ang point of reckoning is delivery of palay or date of milling. In other words, that's flexible. So you can interpret it both ways. And if the price is high because of middlemen who are manipulating the price, then you can put aging rice out in the market, and aging rice is defined as either 3 months since milling or 3 months since the palay was delivered. Because what is not explicit in the law should not be interpreted in the way you would prefer to have it interpreted, or kung ano yung kinagisnan.
Yes, Madam Chair. Yun nga po, dati po 6 months yung ginawa na po nilang 3 months. So, ibig sabihin, yung NFA Council po, pwede mag-decide.
Precisely.
Opo.
Oo, so pwede nating sabihin na yung point of reckoning ng aging rice is delivery of palay.
If the council member will decide so, Madam Chair.
How frequent does the council meet? And how early can you meet? And can you virtually meet?
Actually po, medyo hindi ganun kadalas ang meeting ng council, but we can pass ad referendum resolution kung talagang kinakailangan.
Yes, because you can just comply with the 15 million or 20 million per month. Kailang December is also critical. If you have 33 pesos or 32 pesos per kilo rice, anyway, it will not be that much. In fact, even with the 275 million kilos, that's only 0.05% of the total consumption of the country. So it will affect the price, maglalabasan yung bigas, bababa sila, but it will not create losses on the part of the businessmen. But it will cut the profit of the middlemen. So, Mr. Chair, if I can again reiterate, may we request NFA to be religiously consistent in their data. At kung merong mali, i-correct na agad. At kung hindi pwede, sabihin na agad. Pero pag nahanapan ng paraan, sundin naman natin kung ano ang nararapat. Okay? So, they have 5.3 million kilos of rice available for December, 15 million kilos of rice January and every month onwards to be sold to Kadiwa rice retailers. Initially in Metro Manila and in Region 3 and Region 4A to affect the price of rice. So yan po, Mr. Chair. And for the Council to convene immediately, even virtually, so that the definition can be clarified. It can apply both ways. Anyway, if the price is not that high, then you can implement that the point of reckoning is upon milling. Pero kung mataas, yung point of reckoning is upon delivery of the palay. We have that commitment, Mr. Chair.
We will explain this, Your Honor, no, sa council so that we can get their approval.
Oh, admin, there's a requirement already for us to dispose of this. Yung yung commitment na 5,341,000. That one's okay na. All right, so it's just redefining yung date of reckoning na lang para sa aging ninyo.
Bale, Mr. Chair, the
Yes.
5.3 million is okay na in terms of
Wala na yan.
definition. But our point here is we were actually talking about 25 to 50 million kilos per month. Because 5 million will be very low compared to the population of NCR. So we have no recourse but to accept that. But what I'm pointing is the fact that it can actually be 25 million because interpretation of the law can be actually both ways. So once and for, ang sinasabi kasi ni admin, merong bagong interpretation, blah, blah, blah. That's the new law that was signed, I think, 2 weeks ago. But what is still in effect now is the old law. And therefore, if the law is silent, then it does not define the point of reckoning as the day of milling. At the end of the day, Mr. Chair, the NFA officials, walang maghahabol sa inyo kapag interes ng taong bayan ang tiningnan natin. Yung mga nakasuhan kasi dati, binenta nila ng 25 pesos sa malalaking negosyante at binenta ng 45 pesos sa tao. Pero ito, ibibenta nyo ng 29, ibibenta sa retail market ng 33 or 32 pesos, 33 pagka sa probinsya, then it will not really encourage anyone. Part of the risk in government service is that. Pero ito naman, talaga namang, meron bang kakasuhan ka dahil binenta mo yung bigas ng mura?
Makukuha po minsan. Ay, hindi,
Hindi, if you want, then we can actually request COA to give an official interpretation. And then that will, just tell us what you need, what your problems are, and we'll check on how Congress and how our leaders and the leadership and the speaker can come into and help you. Diba? So thank you, Mr. Chair. Merry
you.
Christmas.
So yes, if you could comply with the request of Honorable Garin. So
One
yes.
point, sorry Mr. Chair, last point. Can we change the name? Pasensya na, because when we were in the meeting yesterday, I was being told, syempre, pag aging, may konting amoy na. Bilang isang babae, hindi ko alam kung natamaan ako o hindi. No, but with that, Mr. Chair, ang pangit, medyo hindi kasi maganda yung, sabi ni admin, pag 2 months pa lang daw na aging, well, konti pa yung amoy, pag 3 months daw, medyo, hindi na daw, medyo maamoy na. Pero lahat yata ng mga Bisaya hindi nangangamoy. But then, Mr. Chair, maybe we change the terminology. Kasi di ba parang ang pangit na, oh, binenta mo kasi aging na. Can we possibly, we can just say,
Based
freshly
on
harvested rice. Oh.
Based on time
Actually
na
po,
lang.
Mr.
Not
Chair,
based on smell.
actually, binago na po namin ang term. Hindi pa lang kami sanay. It's
Ano yung term?
non-regular stocks.
Eh di ayun. Then why don't we use that?
Regular and non-regular stocks na po. Medyo sanay pa lang din tayo baka.
No, but you know, admin, it should not be them adjusting to us. It should be us adjusting to the situation. Kasi medyo pangit pakinggan eh. And actually, maraming kumakain ng bigas, niluluto yun. 9 months, okay pa rin naman eh. Oh, meron lang medyo mga itim-itim, pero napupunta naman sa taas ng tubig, tatanggalin mo lang din eh. And then with boiling water for several minutes, that kills everything there. You can't even be poisoned by that. Let's use the new,
New definitions.
the
Terminology.
more acceptable terminology, the more practical terminology. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Garin. Actually, we're quite done. We've done quite an exhaustive interpolation of this. And if there's no more, yes, I'd like to thank our resource person, the DA, NCIA, NIA, NFA, and all of the other resource persons. And I guess this is our last for this year. We will be having more for this. Please make yourselves available in the next hearing. But for now, until next year, session suspended. Merry Christmas.